expect some activities in the next couple of uploads. Maybe somewhere it's not just like a straight up lift. Grocery on the list, full day of eating on the list, some meal prep on the list, things like that. We're gonna be spicing it up going forward. I'm talking getting a little more of that going. Plus, now that Mark's done with school, we can kind of be bouncing around. We just posted he did a shoulder workout I kind of hovered with. We were kind of just goofing off in the gym for a little bit. He posted that on his channel. So just like 40 minutes just 40 minutes of some Mark and Sam. It was pretty funny. So yes, if you want to go check that out, that's over there. But more to come. There's that badass hawk that is always fucking over here on this road. A good omen. A very good omen. So yeah, that's on the list. That's on the to-do list. Now, something that's a little shorter on that to-do list right now is going to be thrashing back. So lats, traps, and I need to get the whole thing pumped up to, I was about to say SHIT. How about we just say to Kingdom Come? That'll be what I'm aiming for. So with back's interesting. Back is very interesting. And what I mean by that is the array of different sort of, let's just say, genetic, what's the word? Genetics. Right? Two guys' backs can look completely different, even though they all have the same base musculature. Right? Everybody's got lats, traps, scapula, teres major, rhomboids, rear delts. The basic gist is all there. But, some guys, their lats can insert like halfway up their back. Whereas for me, my lats insert like 3 inches, like 3 inches above my waistline, so really low. So depending on that, it can kind of, it can add or it can take away. It's like when we talk about somebody who has long biceps versus short biceps, where I think the general consensus is that long biceps are better because you can actually really fill them in, and the bicep to tendon ratio is much more bicep bias, so you've got more meat bouncing around in here. But at the end of the day, does it really matter? Does it really matter that much what your back inserts may be compared to this guy or the other? Not really. It's something that can be known, and it's something that can be noticed, but it isn't something that has to stress you out. Like, don't forget, individually we are hypersensitive to our own little like nuances of inserts and everything else. Like for me, my right pec goes down a little bit lower than the left one. My left leg's a little differently shaped than the right one. Goodness, what else? My left tricep, I think, looks a little cooler than the right one. Just like little things like that. Nothing that immediately jumps out at you, where if somebody looked at you in like a second, would ever notice. It's just a you thing, So that's something you can fixate on. I mean, I definitely remember thinking like, shit, I want to fucking, I want to balance out these imbalances. I want to be symmetrical. My right lat was always a little bit bigger than my left one, or vice versa, because when I was doing gymnastics, I forget what. I don't know. For whatever reason, sometimes you do stuff that's asymmetrical. Like if you're a skateboarder, you always push with your left leg, or I guess your right leg. I push with my left, so I'm going goofy, I think. But I'm always pushing with my left, or you're always throwing with your right, or you're always this, that, or the other. So outside the gym, you can have a bit of an imbalance just from whatever you've been doing. Right? And I'm here to say that a lot of the times those things will clear themselves up on their own, and it's really not so big of an issue as you may think. And if you try to do too much to overemphasize one side or the other, odds are you're going to go too far, and then now you're totally off balance. Because let's say I was trying to do, let's say my right bicep was slightly smaller than the left one, or my right one was slightly bigger than the left one. That might make me think, okay, I should do the left one harder. I should really be hitting it harder. Muscle growth is so slow, you're not going to notice by the time that it's I guess if you're maybe if you really measure your arms every day, you would be able to do that and actually effectively like call it right at the right moment. I think what I did, I overdid my left one. Like I did extra sets for my left bicep than the right, or I guess I did less sets for the right than the left. And then now I think my left bicep is a little bit bigger than the right one. And I'm kind of getting back to now they're just about even. So my best tip when it comes to that sort of imbalance is just going to be what I'd call matching reps. So let's say I'm doing a single arm pull down today. Let's say I do the right side, which I think is a little bit stronger than the left. So I'll start with the left, get to failure. Maybe I do 15 reps. So I've got 15 reps as failure on the weaker side that I want to bring up. On the stronger side, right, I'm only going to do 15. Even if I could do 20, just so that the left one gets a little bit more work, but not so much so that the right one gets neglected in any way, right? It's just a very minor bias, something like that. But even just from working out, those things balance themselves out. If some guy's lat was for whatever reason just like huge on one side than the other, and he started doing pull downs and regular pull-ups and whatever, he did the occasional single side loaded movement, which will definitely help kind of balance things out. Before he knows it, he's probably going to get to a point where that smaller side, in quotes, it's not the smaller side anymore. He might think it is just because he's always been, noticing that, but not fucking really, and that's just lifestyle adaptations. So if one leg is slightly bigger than the other because you were a kicker on your football team or, whatever, that should clear itself up. And when it comes to anything which is a little bit more genetic, like one side inserts differently than the other, one side just has like a slightly different shape than the other, even then, what are you supposed to do? What are you going to do? Whine about it? It's like whatever. Like I can tell my left quad, or both my quads, the musculature of how they insert is definitely different. Like this outer quad is a little more developed, whereas I think this medial quad is more developed on this side. And it's like, dude, whatever. Sometimes that's just how it is. I'm still going to get after it. And is that going to stop me? In what way does knowing that you might have some kind of thing going on make you think, man, I guess it was... No. It never adds any hype. So, to some point you kind of just got to say whatever and don't worry about it. Because the bigger you get and the more advanced you get, all those kind of imbalances, even if you do kind of have a genetic insert where it's just a little bit different, it's going to balance out. It's not worth stressing about. And as I was getting into the car thinking about what I wanted to talk about, this is kind of a classic, the don't blame your genetics motivational speech. Tom Platz has busted that out quite a bit, where he's like, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. If you got the best genetics or the worst genetics, you can still get after it. But I think we're in a pretty good headspace right now. I think a lot of people are pretty motivated to get after it regardless of circumstance, which is definitely a good thing, and I think that's reflected in the fact that there's so many people just going to the gym now, way more than normal, where I'd say, what do you think? Is it weird if you don't work out? Not that people should only be working out because it's like a social norm, but I think it's getting to the point where you're the outlier if you're skipping the gym. Most people know they should be getting the pump, and then they do it, right? So I think we're in a good era right now. We got a lot of hype behind the gym at a mass scale, and I can only hope that increases. Right? Because then more people at the gym, more people making videos about the gym, more cool people making videos about the gym, better gyms, right? It's just this freaking upward spiral. But yeah, I'm gonna go smack some back around. So nothing else to say, but let's just get in there and get freaking started. Two more. Oh, okay. One more. I'll take 10 pounds off. All right. Not the stack, but close to it. I gotta go a little lighter for the next one. This is good. Let's do two more. All right, let's do a pullover. Oh, goodness. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's too heavy. Let's do 200, not 250. All right, I lied. One more something, then we're done. All right, so this is not the full stack. I'm only using one cable, so it's actually half the stack. But I'll explain later. Just let me get it. Alright, let's pose down. Or, I don't know, maybe not. There's a lot of people in here. Okay, when it comes to a Planet Fitness pose down, make haste. Make fucking haste, and don't be a total punk. Just get in and get out. Or else, well, who knows? But, let's see. Okay. Whew. Just a quick one. But before I start cardio, what? I did an hour cardio yesterday.
I think I saw you on the treadmill.
Yeah, that'd be right.
I wasn't sure if it was you.
Did 30 on the bike, 15 on the Stairmaster.
Oh my god.
I wanted to do 30 and I couldn't do it. I'm like, 15 is it.
It's a long time.
Yeah, there we go. That was badass. I'm, I think I'm officially getting back to lean. I had a couple of refeeds, couple of glycogen replenishments that were maybe a little bit too replenished. But nah, the cardio is paying off. So I'm torn. I don't know if I want to do the treadmill, or no, I don't know if I want to do the Stairmaster again or the bike. I've got legs tomorrow. I think I just answered my own question. I don't know, I'll think about it. But either way, badass lift. I'll see you in the car. There we go. All right. Yeah, so when I was sitting down on the on that little seat, this was my thought process. All right, let me break it down. Ooh, I could do the bike, or I could do the Stairmaster. Ooh, I got legs tomorrow. I don't want to do the Stairmaster. The Stairmaster is going to be too hard. Caught myself with a loser mentality, you know, and it's not as though that there wasn't a real argument, right? I do have legs tomorrow. So am I going to be potentially more tender? Well, I'll just have to see, right? But what really irked me was, for one, I noticed, well, I guess really for one, I caught myself even having that thought to begin with. Ooh, I'm presenting myself with two options, the easier option and the harder option. And then noticing that my first instinct is to pick the easy one, like a freaking punk, you know. Now, I think that the Stairmaster, 30 minutes at that pace, it was about 60 steps a minute, so only 1 step a second. The dude next to me was going way faster. I think he was doing more like 1.2 steps per second or something. Like he was going faster than me. I am heavier, so I think that made it a little more difficult. But that was hard. Yeah, 30 minutes of Stairmaster a day, I think might be a little more than necessary. But 30 minutes of Stairmaster on occasion, I think that'll up my cardio game. But not every time. Oh my goodness. That was good though. That was good. I was, yeah, fuck. You can't even play on your phone on the Stairmaster. You gotta lock in. I just got some, I was doing Through the Fire and the Flames and Excavator and Can't Be Touched. Those are my 3 songs. I did Through the Fire and the Flames a couple times, Excavator a few times, Can't Be Touched a few times, and yeah, just fucking just panting. And it wasn't even that hot in there. Like it was a cool 60 something, and there was airflow from like a fan, but I was still getting pretty freaking sweaty. Oh, goodness. No apologies for the yawn, but I'm cooked. I am cooked. Yeah, so I used to be a little bit more particular about saying cardio in the morning only. Don't do cardio post-workout. Not as good. I think I've changed my mind a little bit. And maybe not changed my mind, but just kind of realized, yeah, that's not a rule you have to totally adhere to. I still think it probably is slightly better, but in terms of just like an actual real doing, one session is just a little bit more, I don't know, just kind of feels better, you know. You only get sweaty once, you're not pumping out as many dirty clothes. And since I'm dieting, I'm not growing right. I'm staying as big as I am. I'm not growing. You know, a little bit of post-workout cardio, it's not going to hurt that effort. So yeah, if you're trying to gain size, I would say that the first thing you want to do after a workout is chill and get some food in your system. That is friggin' activity number 1. But you know, even then, I still wouldn't recommend cardio pre-workout. Oh, sorry. Like I probably would not do, I definitely would not do the Stairmaster for 30 minutes and then try to do a back workout. That's totally backwards. You know, you're burning up your glycogen before you even get to the lifts where you really want to use it. So I'd say cardio post-workout, solid. Cardio in the morning and then a workout later, also solid. Cardio at night with a workout in the morning, shit, man, honestly, as long as you do it, that's kind of thing number 1. That's 80% of it. And then that 20%, even that feels like an exaggeration, is just any particulars of, you know, order and whatnot, right? But, yeah, I'm fucking so sorry. Usually I bring a fucking orange cream Sulik 3D, or really not always. Usually, sometimes I've been grabbing the. There's a couple flavors. I got some raspberry sorbet, which just dropped. That one's pretty good. But usually I bring an energy drink, right, one of those 3Ds to drink post-workout, post-workout cardio, so I can get a little more caffeine in my veins. But I forgot to pack one today, so that was. I might have been feeling a little extra tired. Who's to say that the cardio might have actually felt easier had I done, or had I remembered to bring that energy drink? Hard to say for sure. Hard to say for freaking sure. But yeah, plan now, go home, get some food in my system, really get some fluids. I haven't really been as thirsty during these workouts. You know, I've gone through periods of time where in an entire workout, I would probably drink about half a gallon of water, 2 liters minimum. But lately, even in the few weeks where I was eating a little bit more food in a surplus, or when I'm dieting, just not really as thirsty, you know? I make sure to hydrate beforehand. Like I'm slamming, I don't know, I think before today's workout I had at least a liter of water plus the half liter of the pre-workout itself. So 1.5 liters pre-workout. And then, yeah, I just haven't really been feeling the urge to jump to the water fountain every 2 minutes to get a sip of water. A little different on a leg day where it's much lengthier and just demanding. Not to mention hot. I'm trying to control my yawns and not let them out. But yeah, just have not noticed myself being as thirsty. I don't think it's a bad thing. As long as you really hydrate well before your workout, I would say you're probably fine, you know. There's no need to really slam a ton of fluids. And then, well, I guess it depends on the situation, right? If you're one of those guys where you're always getting an exertion headache, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. 1, what did you drink today? And 2, what do you drink normally, right? 1 energy drink and whatever amount of water you use in your pre-workout, which probably is not enough, that's not going to cut it. You know, oh, dude, my head hurts. It's like, I'd say, what, 90? You tell me if you're, I guess I don't know if this stat is actually known, but I'd say a large majority percentage of the cause of headaches is going to come from an electrolyte imbalance, which an electrolyte imbalance typically is going to just be being dehydrated, right? Not drinking enough water and then eating a crap ton of salt, right? Something along those lines, being hungover, just physically not getting enough fluids in at all, like things like that, you know. I haven't had an exertion headache for quite a while. I was getting a bit of a headache about a month ago, but I think that was just because I had a really stuffy nose because the pollen was so intense this year. It always is, but it really hits me. I'm extra prone, where I was just stuffy to the freaking gills, constantly blowing my nose, and something that internal sinus pressure was like making my head hurt. But I was more than enough, I was more than hydrated enough, so I don't think that was the cause. But yeah, man, you know, adopt the bro mentality. Walk around with a freaking gallon jug, right? Get a 0-calorie sweetener of your choice, whether it's like one of the liquid, you know, squirt ones, or like a Crystal Light or something, or, you know, any. I mean, there's a ton where they're kind of like candy flavored. You know, there's like blue raspberry looking. Personally, I kind of have a sweet tooth, so I like drinking a flavored drink because I can just slam like a full gallon of it. And when it comes to aspartame, I think you're just being fear-mongered. Don't sweat it. You know, I think that anybody who says they have oh, aspartame really messes with me, I think it's just because they know they're drinking aspartame and they're self-fulfilling that prophecy of like just being weird about it. You know, like aspartame, I think it is a problem if you drink the equivalent of, I think, 1,000 2 liters a day or something. That's when animal studies show that it does begin to have negative effects. Obviously, you know, do whatever the hell you want, but personally, I haven't, I don't know, I'm slamming a ton of it. I haven't really noticed an issue. But I'm also staying super hydrated, and I'm doing a crap ton of cardio and physical activity every day. That's going to help. You know, when it comes to any random ailment of the powers that be it like random sunscreen or the fact that food is like super hyper processed and weird compared to, you know, like what it was back in the 60s or something, or, you know, all the random plastics that are touching our skin all the time because all of our clothes are made of polyester and not just like 100% cotton. A lot of that, I think, is definitely doing some weird stuff to us. Like, I'm not a total conspiracy theorist, but it can't be awesome.